Hello everyone, I'm Mermaid Amatheia. Here in my studio, I make silicone mermaid tails and accessories. I also repair tails. I'm here today to show you how to repair a silicone mermaid tail like a pro. If any of this is too intimidating for you, just remember, I take on silicone repair commissions. Contact me for a quote about your tail. Before we begin, I need to share about my silicone repair method and its potential risks. I have learned this method through my 4 years of experience working with Dragonskin and troubleshooting with smooth-ons experienced technicians. If you are attempting to take on a large repair like this, please do yourself a favor and do a small test on the tail to make sure the new silicone will completely bond to the old. I don't use Sil-Poxy for a large repair like this for various reasons. I will be using Dragonskin to reglue the fluke down onto the new monofin. But there are multiple steps that need to be taken to ensure the new Dragonskin adheres to the old. Step 1. Identify that the tail is under 4 years old. Step 2. Thoroughly clean the area to be glued with acetone. Step 3. Prep the old silicone by wiping it with naphtha and then inhibit X. All of these chemicals are unsafe to touch or breathe in, so neoprene gloves, safety goggles, and a gas mask rated for organic vapors are essential PPE items when handling these materials. Read and obey all warning labels on the materials container before using. We are going to start with preparing the new monofin for installation in the tail. This is a Finnish shooter monofin, and I do prefer them for mermaid tails as they have a nice flat blade. The blade, however, needs to be sanded down as it's too sharp to install without risk of it eventually cutting through the fluke. It's cleaned up with alcohol and then fabric is glued down onto the blade. The fabric is a 1 mm thick nylon polyester, and the glue being used is a 2-part epoxy rated for marine fiberglass and plastic plumbing. The glue is given 24 hours to dry, and once the fabric is trimmed to the desired length, this monofin is ready to go in. This is the glue I'm using. It's rated for fiber composites and thermoplastics, which is great for it bonding to the blade of the monofin. Also, on the back, it says that it is certified for marine and plumbing use, which makes it waterproof for as long as possible. So that's good to know. I don't recommend using really any other glue except something like this that would be rated for plastics and that would be rated for waterproof uses. Now, you may recognize this tail. This is Mermaid Faith's Galaxy silicone. I made it for her in 2018, I believe. It's 2 years old. It was one of the first tails I ever made. And it's going to be going through a couple of upgrades, not just the monofin replacement. We are also going to be replacing the heel fins. I'm going to be going down the seams, making sure that the seams are doing good and that they don't need any repairs or fixes. And then I'm just going to update the paint a little bit, just to make her pop a little more underwater. We're going to add some stars and some more sparkles. Before we begin, I am going to mark where the end of the foot pockets are with this monofin so that I can line up the new monofin in the same spot. So I can feel right about here is a foot pocket, the very edge of it, and right here is a foot pocket. So right there is the very end, where the pockets end and where the heels start. Okay, so with a very sharp utility knife with a fresh blade, I'm going to start at a drainage channel and cut away from me and cut along all the glue lines that I see. And by glue lines, I mean I can see where I've glued it with Dragonskin. I'm gonna try hard not to slice up or down through the fluke. If accidents happen though, they can be patched up. And if that happens in this video, I will show you how to patch up a cut. We're gonna just cut open the base here. I don't think we have to cut open the sides. It should open up like a big pillowcase. The monofin will come out and the new monofin will go in, and then we'll just have to like open it wide to spread the new glue, push it back down. All right, so let the cutting begin. Okay, that went really well. That was the fastest ungluing. That was the fastest cutting open I've ever done on a fluke. I've done it a few times. Okay, here's the little wave. This is the problem that happens with these monofins, is these foot pockets have been crushed, which is probably really uncomfortable to wear and uncomfortable to get into. Although this rubber is softer than the Rapids, it's still not ideal. You don't really want to put these in silicone tails. The cutting went really well. I did make a couple of little boo-boos. There was a slice that came out here. I'm gonna patch that up. I'll show you how to do it too. And then I made a different type of slice. I did slice through right here, but we're gonna patch that one up and you won't even know it's there. Now we are going to heal the cut in the fluke using Dragonskin. First, the area around the cut is cleaned with acetone soaked onto a piece of paper towel. Once let to dry, the cut is then wiped with naphtha, then a thin layer of Inhibit X is brushed on. The Inhibit X is allowed to dry for 5 or 8 minutes, and this priming process is repeated every time fresh silicone is added to the old. We can now mix up our measured out Dragonskin and apply it inside the fluke under the cut with a piece of power mesh fabric. Then a small amount of Dragonskin is applied to the cut above and gently wiped off. cures, it's a good time to measure out the silicone we need for the inside of the fluke to glue down the monofin. 2 batches of 200 grams for a total of 400 grams or 14 ounces is approximately how much I estimated I would need for this size fluke. Other fluke styles could be more or less. For a job like this, I'd say the trial-sized set of Dragonskin should be enough as it has 900 grams total. After a little fiddling to cut out a dart from the monofin, I've inserted it right where I want it to sit inside. As I chose not to cut the sides of this fluke open, I did make this job a bit harder for myself, but I like to do things the hard way, I guess. The monofin was propped up inside so I could apply the Dragonskin underneath it. Starting at the top, I apply a thick layer of Dragonskin and work my way down. Then the monofin is lowered on top and more Dragonskin is applied to the top of it. It's important to note that no silicone is applied to the rubber foot pockets of the monofin because they are made of a material that inhibits cure of Dragonskin. add drainage channels, 2 long rods are allowed to sit on the blade from the rubber toes out the bottom of the fluke while the silicone is curing to create 2 channels in the top of the monofin. The rods are then just pulled out once the silicone has cured. Something heavy should be placed on top of the fluke to hold everything down. In this case, I used small plaster and silicone block molds because they were handy. Once all that silicone has cured, it's time to glue down the edges. A smaller amount of Dragonskin is carefully applied inside the edge and pinned down in place. Any silicone that oozes out the edge is gently wiped away. The last touch is finally using a little bit of Sil-Poxy to fill in any undesirable cracks still remaining along the bottom edge of the fluke. Alright, this is the finished fluke after all of the gluing and the blending, and I did quite a big retouch paint job as well. Added a butt ton of glitter. I hope she likes it, but you can see this is the new seam. It will never look as nice as it originally did. That is just something that needs to be accepted because of the nature of how just chunky silicone is, and cutting it open and re-gluing it down, it's never going to look the same. But I did the best I could to blend it. That seam line looks really good, and I'm really happy I didn't have to cut open the side seam here because it still looks really nice, and it is very hard to tell where I cut open the tail by accident. I can kind of detect it a little bit when the light hits it just right, but I'm hoping that it just blends right in with the rest of the tail texture. And I did my best to match the colors that I originally did. Oh, she's so shiny. She's so shiny. And here is the other side. Nice clean seam going down there on both sides. So pretty happy with this project. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. As you can see, the tail is complete. The monofin has been replaced. I updated the paint job on the tail, and I made Faith a new top to go with it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was very long. Hopefully you learned something. I do like to share the process a bit. If you want to see more, I do have a Patreon, and I will link a full material list in the description of this video. Please subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!